All right, so I got an email not long ago from someone that asked if I could do my fire and ice gill, and specifically because I use a crackle medium for effect. And really, what that means is I put a black base coat on, I put this crackle medium, and I spray white over it. And as the white dries, the paint will crack, and it gives kind of a neat natural effect to it. So let's do that. I do have a video from years ago using the crackle effect on a craw pattern, but we'll do it on a regular gill pattern. So what's different about this is you're going to start with a black base coat, and then I got this crackle medium. It's by Folk Art. I think I got it at Michael's, and I don't even know how much it is. I think they're about $10 for the bottle, but you hardly use any of it. I have a little cup with the crackle medium in it, and I went to Walmart and got these disposable kid brushes. So what we're going to do is load up your brush and be generous on this all over the bait. I kind of try to keep it away from the eyes, but if it gets in the eye socket, not really a end of the world at all. You don't want to go too thin, but you don't want it to go too heavy either. Go too heavy when you spray with your brush, it may move the medium around. Now, if you read the bottle will say, once you brush it on, let it dry, and I don't. I think a lot of people use this for furniture, and, given that distressed effect on furniture. But I don't let it dry. Alright, let's keep going here all the way around. It doesn't dry fast at all, so there's really no need to rush this process. Get it all up in the detail of those scales. Cover everything. I always gotta check my camera, make sure I'm still in frame. Get it all. Alright. Double check my work. Yeah, pretty well covered. Alright. Now I have a brush loaded up with some white. Move back the camera up a little bit. I found that Createx white doesn't work well with this crackle medium, so I'm using gold and titanium white. Lower my pressure, again, so the medium doesn't blow all over the place, and start spraying all over, and I keep spraying until it starts to crackle on its own, and then we'll finish it up with a hairdryer. So let's go real light, spray all over, keep spraying. And the good thing about using the white is now we can go put other colors on top of this after it crackles. And I'll show you the colors I'll use for my fire and ice. Keep spraying. If you do a little heavier coat, you'll get a nice crackle pattern out of it. Usually I have my exhaust fan on, but then you won't be able to hear me. So, but exhaust fans are important in your booth. Okay, a little more. A little more. Keep spraying. Starting to crack a little bit. Alright. Can you see that? Now, let's get the hairdryer going. I do the hairdryer from a distance so it doesn't blow everything around. belly didn't crack as much as I wanted, but that's okay. Alright. Not too bad. I'll show you all the way around. Sometimes it cracks better than others, but this one turned out pretty good. And now I'll probably let this dry a little bit more with the hair dryer, and then you can add whatever colors you want. Do any color pattern you like either. Okay, we're going to start adding our color now. Let me back up a little bit. And even when you spray over the white, the black crackle effect will still come through. It takes many, many layers of paint probably to hide that black. That's why I like using the black. So I'm going to come in with a fluorescent yellow. And I'm going to do the belly and the bottom half of the bait. I'll probably do a few coats here. And dry as I go along. See, got the yellow, and you can still see the crackle. That's a good thing. Do another coat of yellow. I'm using Createx fluorescent yellow, but you can use any fluorescent you want. Even with 2 heavy coats, you can still see the black crackle lines. Alright, I'm going to clean the brush and we will go on to the next color. Okay, now let's tackle the top part of the bait. I'm going to use a Wicked Fluorescent Aqua on the top. So we're not really doing anything fancy today. I just wanted to show you the crackle effect. But I do paint this color pattern often for people because of the bright colors. Works good in stained waters. Again, there's my aqua, and you could still see the crackle medium or the crackle effect underneath pretty darn well. Alright, I'm going to dry that up and we'll Alright, now I have some Comart opaque red oxide. The old name for this was Indian red, and they changed it probably a couple years ago. Same color, just a different name. So we're going to use some red oxide, and I'm going to do the belly of the bait. Turn the pressure down a little bit. Don't go too crazy. So I'm just going to do the belly and let some of that overspray come up off the sides. So here's 2 layers of color. You can still see the crackle effect. Again, that's what I like about this. Come up a little bit on the sides. Perfect. If you don't have this red oxide, burnt orange would work also. Maybe even a maroon or something. You know, experiment. Now we're going to go put the finishing touches on. Alright, so what I like to do now, because the bait is a little on the dark side, I like to add some contrast. And I'm going to take some white and just highlight the bottom of the gill right there. And it helps break up some of those darker colors. I do that quite often if I'm doing a bait that's pretty dark. You know, hit it with an accent of something. You know, it doesn't really take much. Again, just the bottom of the gill. And there you go. If you want, you can take a stencil to mask the gill and do a white highlight on the edge of the gill. I've done that with some of my walleye baits. But anyway, so I like using the white to kind of break things up, the darker colors, and to add a little bit of contrast. Okay, final step, sorta. Final step of painting. is, let's do a gill mark. And I have a stencil wheel. It's called a fin and gill wheel from Insane Custom Stencils. This is number 2, so it's kind of a larger one. I do have some smaller ones that I have from him too. And I don't remember what numbers they were. But go to his website. Russ Allen has a good selection of stencils for you. But I'm going to take this larger gill mark here, lay it on the bait, and I have some black loaded up on the brush. I come down the side of the stencil also a little bit. There's the gill mark there. Let's hit the other side. Clean your stencil off. You don't want any of that black residue to come off on your bait after working so hard on it. Alright. Lay the stencil on the bait. There's our gill mark. I like to hit the spine with a bit of black. That kind of ties everything together a little bit. Not too much. Get the nose, a little bit on the eyes. Yeah, kind of ties everything together. Alright. And the way I finish this up is I add iridescent eyes. Alright. One of the last steps is to put the eyes on. I use a little bit of super glue so they don't fall off when you're dipping them in your clear coat. Or I do a Lumalite UV clear, and I dip, and ask me how I know eyes can come off. So when that started happening, I started putting a little dab of super glue, and here's my iridescent eyes. I think I found these on eBay, but they're pretty common. These are 6mm eyes. These are the iridescent ones. Just flip it around and get the other side here. Oops, pop that right in. There we go, there's the finished bait. Fire and ice using Crackle Medium. Kind of a neat effect. It's one way of doing it. Some people use ribbon. I mean, the options are endless, and it's whatever you like to do. So I do this occasionally, but I just wanted to show you what Crackle Medium will do on a bait. Actually, it's kind of a nice effect. So thank you for watching.